Okay, hello. Binga J again, back with another bio. This time we're gonna do a recap of biology, the biology part of biochemistry. If you watch my other videos, I talk about entry into biochemistry, and I interchangeably use it with biochemical engineering because biochemistry and biochemical engineering overlap in terms of their first principles, the when they talk about catalysis or rate of the reaction or first order kinetics, the Michaelis-Menten kinetics, which we'll learn later on, and Haynes-Wolff, Lineweaver-Burke plots, they're all interconnected in some sort of way, but maybe in engineering it goes more into deeper math and integration rather than biochemistry going rather in the order of crude memorization of larger and larger molecular formulae, structural formulae of molecules like for example, aspirin. You'll need to know how many functional groups are in aspirin for a biochemistry test or some quiz or something like that. Whereas in biochemical engineering, you'll be told to solve for draw a Lineweaver-Burke plot for a particular table of data, some table of data. But for today we're going to do a simple recap of biology bit of biochemistry and biochemical engineering. So there are many types of organisms. We're only going to talk about two to make this vid nice and short and easy to follow and not bore you with the details. There are two types of organisms: heterotrophs. Well, spelled this way. That's heterotroph. I don't think you can see that, but heterotrophs will be spelled that way. Heterotrophs. 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 I thought that this is probably easier than doing a pick and pick video and then editing it on the on clip clamp or something like that, trying to get a picture in picture video and then have it annotate the background with an ink pen and then overlaying it with another video on top and then kind of get a stereo sound bites and sometimes my internal microphone picks up noise and it gets very messy. So I should figure I'll just simply show you how to spell heterotrophs. So that's how you spell heterotrophs right there. Right there. Heterophs. Heterotrophs. My bad. Heterotrophs. And then autotrophs is spelled like automobile, but trophy. Like automobile trophy. So Autotrophs. So if you didn't get it, you can just rewind the video and pause it at your leisure. So these organisms, they derive energy from they have two different they're different in ways in which their energy is derived in for their body's consumptions, structural consumptions. Heterotrophs are basically us humans or other carnivores, lions, or anything that ingests something, snakes, Australian snakes, or anacondas from Brazil, or you will even think about your dog who needs to eat like a solid meal of like food, basically ingest food from the mouth. Because if you look at evolutionary biology, there's protostomes and deuterostomes, and deuterostomes are basically organisms that develop anus first, mouth second, and protostomes are like bacteria who develop mouth first and anus second. But that's a whole different kind of worms. Uh, when you're looking at heterotrophs, heterotrophs they depend on other organisms for their energy. They need to ingest their glucose, their proteins, their fat, their carbs, their lipids, vitamins, fibers, vegetables, all these kinds of things. They depend on other organisms that already exist to to survive. That's why in perhaps in the scientific community, one can speculate that one must have existed before the other because the other depends on the latter, the previous one for survival. So you couldn't have had animals exist before bacteria because bacteria can process light, have chlorophyll. Plants, for example, have chlorophyll so they can process light and create their own food and grow. Whereas animals like cows have to eat those leaves, have to eat those plants in order for survival. So the scientific community theoretically extrapolates that the animals that were there first, the, the organisms that were there first was probably the plants before the cows. So there's other information out there about the Big Bang Theory you can read more about. But sticking to the topic of today, uh, heterotrophs depend either directly or indirectly on autotrophs. And on autotrophs, the organisms that make their own food from simple substances like water. They produce food using light or chemical energy. There you go. They have chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is like the green part of the leaf, and it's all kind of has receptors, light receptors that process light, and you know how light is an electromagnetic wave rate of electro is basically a blast of electromagnetic magnetism containing wavelengths of different energies quantified by Max Planck, and they have all these. Light has particle properties and wave properties. They have wave particle duality, but that's learned in physics somewhere back in the past. And that'll be it. Autotrophs are self-sufficient, so that'll be it. I'll try to close this video at 8 minutes because hope it did not bore you too much with too many details, but hope you got something out of it. To summarize, heterotrophs are dependent on autotrophs, and autotrophs are self-sufficient for their energy needs. I'm Binga J, wishing you on the next video.